The popular vote. Tonight I'd like to talk about the popular vote. Canadian Conservatives love to talk about winning it in the last 2 elections, but it misrepresents their popularity wildly. Where Conservative support exists, it's highly concentrated. They might win a seat in Ontario with just 38% of the vote, but in the prairies there are ridings where 80% or more voted just Conservative. In a country with a 5-party system, 80% for one party is cult levels. And the ridings that vote Conservative generally aren't diverse. They're people who identify as rural, undereducated, and Christian. Yet they support a party and policies that are unchristian at best. Ones that care only for themselves and delight in the suffering of others and other regions. Talk to any Albertan and they'll tell you Alberta is the greatest place on earth. But continue to listen and you'll soon learn Albertans not in Calgary hate Calgary. Those not in Edmonton hate Edmonton. And those not in Red Deer hate Red Deer. It goes on, and for a province with such a large chip on its shoulder, it's alarming how much they really do hate each other. As a cohort in Canada, they are the most miserable people on the planet, hating and being envious of everyone else. And Albertan politicians have figured out how to weaponize that hate. Play on it even. Perpetuate it. Because fear of the other is the easiest thing to control. The silly part is that a majority of the high-earning, highly taxed Albertans are from elsewhere in the country. So that guy from PEI earning big money in the Fort Mac oil fields is not only sending some of his money back to PEI, but his taxes ensure his mother and father back home get Canada Pension Plan and have access to decent health care. Both things that he and his buds don't need because they're young and healthy, like a lot of high-income, highly taxed Albertans. So as a cohort, yeah, Alberta appears to pay more taxes than other Canadians, and they get less services than other Canadians. But it's only because people are taxed not on the basis of where they live, but what they earn. And young, healthy people without university degrees are more interested in high-paying, hard work than they are rudderless unemployment. And those same young, healthy, high earners don't need employment insurance. They won't be claiming pensions for decades. And generally, they don't need health care. But here's the big surprise. Alberta has a third the population of Ontario. Yet Toronto has a real higher number of high-earning, highly taxed people than all of Alberta does. Toronto, in fact, pays $9 in tax more than they get in services, because Toronto, not Alberta, is where the money is, and always has been. And smart, educated urbanites follow the money. And now for my quick take. If you want to know what demographic watches a program, check out the advertisements. If they're hawking Cialis or diabetes meds, then the majority of that show's viewers are old. If they're pushing toys, they're kids. And if the show has a lot of cannabis ads between segments, they're unproductive, lazy 20-somethings without good jobs. Clearly, that's the audience for comedian Pee Wee Dactyl, whose recent Hicks Flicks comedy special was littered with drug paraphernalia ads. We, those who care about morals, need to stop those like Pee Wee Dactyl from corrupting our youth. And we need to do it before those youth grow up. It's like teenage hormonal therapy. It might be useful or even necessary for teenagers, but no one should have access to teenage hormonal therapy treatments until after they're an adult. At least, that's what Alberta's premier wants you to believe. And that's it for Who Gives a Crap. I'm Shawn and Innanity. Tune in next week when my guest will be Mucker Carlpin. Seriously, Mucker? That bozo's on Twitter. He doesn't even have a real job. Ugh.